Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are here today with another amazing interview. Again, I'm Jordan Elizabeth Gelber, and today I am with one of my favorite people and mentors, Ronnie Marmo from Theater 68 and so many other things. I'm going to let him take the stage. Ronnie Marmo, hello.
Hi, Jordan. Thank you. You're one of my favorite people, too. See how that works?
Oh, that's good. I'm glad. This would be very awkward
Yeah,
if we didn't
it's
like
actually true. No, we more than like each other. Thank you.
We're family. It's good.
You're a huge talent. You know, I think
Oh, I'm going to blush the color of my hair on camera.
that. It'll
So,
match the rest of your hair. Yeah, the whole
yeah,
red thing you got going on.
it'll be a look. It's my quarantine look. Let's see how
I'm thinking of going purple myself. I don't know. Is it going to work with this big hair I have
I
here?
think, oh yeah, your 80s hair. I like it.
You like that? I look like, who are the 80s guys? Was it,
Oh,
what's
like,
his name?
yeah, like
What's the
Rob
guy?
Lowe in front.
Yeah, like Rob Lowe. What was McDreamy? What's that guy's name?
Oh, McDreamy. Oh, Patrick
Patrick
Dempsey.
Dempsey. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm,
you
I'm
definitely
like a,
got
I'm
it.
like a, got a Patrick Dempsey head going from the 80s.
It's good. It's
Yeah,
working
yeah,
for
yeah.
you. It's working for you. You're in
Well, I appreciate that.
your LA experience right now. Well,
Yeah, I'm in LA. Look at
I'm in
me.
New York.
No, I had to get out of my apartment. I'm going nuts. So this is nice. It's nice. It's beautiful here. So
How are things in LA? Because I know New York is crazy right now.
New York is way worse than we are, but it is what it is. Everyone's pretty much from what I see, they seem to be respecting it. I'm certainly respecting what's going on. But it's scary. It's such a weird thing to like literally anybody you come in contact could have it and not know it.
Mm-hmm.
It's such an infectious, crazy thing that I just, I'm trying to do the right thing. I went shopping a few times. I bundle up with the stuff and the gloves and the mask. And I'm just trying to respect it, and I can't wait for it to be over.
Yeah. I know that, for us, both in the entertainment industry on different spectrums, and, I know you've done a lot more than like someone like me in terms of like acting at the moment. And you're also producing, you have your show. So many things have changed for us. How is someone like you kind of dealing with this new normal,
Well, to be honest with you, there's been a lot of blessings for me in this. For instance, I've been in Chicago the last 5 months doing my show, my one-man show, and then before that I was doing it in New York. And so I've been traveling an awful lot, and I have a 12-year-old daughter, and I have been here for 8 weeks straight at this point, and it has really shifted in the most beautiful way our relationship. And so in that way, it's like it's going to be hard to go back to the rat race I was living in, and so I'm forced to find some sort of compromise for myself that I could actually personally live with. So it's been great in that way. In terms of like showbiz, I've been using this opportunity to really take advantage of nurturing more relationships, doing some of the things I wanted to do and couldn't in the past, like have a weekly class because of Zoom. I'm able to do that. And it's something I can never pull off because I'm never in a city long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just I want to be prepared with all the things I've been working on and writing for when they lift the curtain comes up, which I don't think it'll be that dramatic. It'll probably be gradual. But I want to be ready to go when people are scrambling for content. I have some ideas, and I have finally, I wouldn't say finished them, but I'm close to working on some really wonderful things because I want to be ready,
Well, I completely agree with you. I mean, for me, this has been like the perfect opportunity, right? You can create, you can write. I mean, I know that I've had a series I wanted to write for like last year. I could sit down and do it. And from someone who, I'm so inspired by, you wrote your own one-man show, and a lot of it was possible because of the relationships that you build. I think that's one of the biggest things people can do right now is really create content or keep creating and building relationships and nurturing them. I mean, your story with Joe Mantegna is amazing. So I think everyone who doesn't know you would love to hear that because people can do that now with the people that they want to work with because they have the time.
Yeah. Well, sure. I'd love to tell it. Joe Mantegna, who is, my mentor and he's like my dad and my hero. About 16 years ago at this point, I wrote him a letter and sent it to a P.O. box expressing how I'm an Italian-American young actor and I really look up to the way he's navigated his career because I'm much more than just being an Italian-American. But I love, anyway, blah, blah, blah. I told him all these nice things. And he wrote me 2 days later. I said, would you read my script? I had a script. I said, sorry about the car driving by.
I'm happy there's no honking right now. You're fine.
Yeah, we're in Los Angeles, so we're with the elements. But I said, listen, I attached a script that I had written called West of Brooklyn. And I said, I would be really flattered and honored if he would take a crack at reading it and seeing if he could, give me a shot. And he read it. He loved it. 2 days later, he called me. He said, I'd like to meet you for lunch. And he said, I'm in. And there was a lot in between, obviously, but basically that. And 16 years later, you know, he's certainly the most important influence I have in show business. And also, he's the director of my one-man show. I'm not a comedian. I'm Lenny Bruce. I brought it to Joe. He read it, and we went into rehearsal 2.5 years ago, and it's been running ever since.
And how many performances have you done now?
305, but who's counting?
But who's counting? That's like a whole year straight almost.
Did 120 in Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
did 100 off Broadway in New York, and 85 in Chicago, and then we abruptly shut down because of what's going on. But all my set is still up. My dressing room is still full with my personal stuff, and I will be back to finish what we started over there. So
That's
at some
great.
point, yeah.
I think, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned from just kind of giving yourself the permission to go after the person you want to work with? I mean, I'm that kind of person. I'm inspired by people like you that like are disruptors in terms of like, we don't wait for permission. If I want something, I go after it. But for someone that's not there or feels like there's this invisible wall, which there is, you know, how did you push yourself to be like, I'm just going to go for it?
You know, if you don't do it, it's a definite no.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a no. So like, if you don't want to hear no, then you have to remove the I'm not going to do it. And for me, you know, I really feel like if you're genuine
Mm-hmm.
and you come from a good place and you have a big heart and you hope that the person you're actually attracted to, in this case, Joe Mantegna, is also cut from the same cloth, then, you know, I think when he sees me, it's like looking in a mirror of his younger self. And you know, and so he was the perfect person to do that with. But I didn't know that. I sent it to this Italian-American actor who won a Tony and was brilliant in a lot of other things. And as I get to know him, I realize, you know, what a special guy he was. But I think that if you're genuine about it, you should just do it. Because if you don't do it, then you don't get to have it. And so, you know, I know a lot of people who are very, very talented that didn't get the opportunity that maybe Joe did. And so the difference between Joe or myself at this point in my career and someone else is literally the shot I was given. And then, you know, the door opened and I kicked it down, you know. And so stardom or fame doesn't always equal talent. In Joe's case, it happens to. But you have to go after what you want and just be genuine and respectful, but say what you need. And hopefully those people will be attracted to that, because it's not lost on Joe that he's just, you know, if he didn't get that one audition to that other audition, he could be working at Joey's pizzeria right now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, and he knows that about himself. He's very grateful for his life. And so do it. Just do it.
Just freaking do it. I could not really like agree with you more. I mean, for me to watch what you've done, it gives hope to people like me where we just go for it. I mean, the relationships happen if you just let them happen, I think.
Thank you.
You know, and being genuine is crucial. One of the biggest topics I've heard over the course of this entire quarantine, and even before that, but it's been really relevant right now, with people who are trying to start out or build something new, whether it's I've never done self-tapes before, or I want to start a YouTube channel, or I want people to know who I am and I don't know how to connect with people with this new normal. And they ask me all the time, like, well, what's your biggest, you know, tip? And it's always be genuine, be authentic, tell the truth. I think people get so lost in the idea of being something that they think people might like, that they come off so fake that if they were just themselves, to saying, hey, I'm this person, I want to, you know, connect with you, you mean a lot to me. I mean, I made great relationships because of that. And a lot of it is because I feel supported in being able to be that person.
Yeah, there's a desperation that comes with trying to put on a persona that doesn't necessarily jive with who you actually are. And you see that when you walk in the door. You know, it's kind of like equivalent to, like, you know, early in my career, I'd have an agent meeting and I'd go, okay, nice to meet you. So listen, here's what I've done. I did this, I did this, I did this. And so they never assigned me ever.
Yeah.
So then I tried one time. I said, you know what? I'm not going to mention acting. I went in, I said, listen, I'm a huge Yankee fan. My kids are great. Last week, you got to hear what I did. I didn't mention acting. They were like, before I left the room, can we sign you? So there's a true story. And so that's always my approach now, is like, it's a fine balance to go, like, if I'm sitting in front of you, hopefully you've done your research about me, so we don't have to have that small talk, because it's weird to talk about yourself, but at the same time, sometimes you're in a position where you have to. It's an interesting balance, but I think if you're authentic and genuine, hopefully that comes through, and what's supposed to be yours will be yours. I mean, I agree completely. I'm doing things in this quarantine that, like, I've always daydreamed about teaching a class, a weekly class. I've done workshops for a weekend or one day off, long days, but I'm never in a city long enough, right? So, but at first, the first like decade of my career, I certainly had enough credits to teach a class, but I felt like a fraud. I was like, well, you know, anybody can find 12 doo-doo-doos to take their class. And then instead of working at the macaroni grill because they got that one great credit on that TV show, and you go, oh, the guy was on blah, blah, let's take his class. So it wasn't until I authentically felt like, in a real way, in a spiritual way almost, that like I have something to share and offer, and I'd like to offer that genuinely. And I'm not sitting home trying to figure out, and there's the garbage man. Perfect timing.
I feel like
my
I'm
career.
with you. It's all good. I feel like I'm with you.
All right,
it's all
good.
good.
So you know, it's like, if I'm sitting home going, okay, here's how my class is going to go, it's not authentic. I just want to share the information I have. And because of Zoom and this quarantine, I've been put in a place where I went, I can have a class right now. You could be in Africa and take my class. If you could get on at 3:00 on Wednesdays, Los Angeles time, you're in. I mean, you know, it's a small class. You might be in, but, you know, you see my point.
Yeah.
So I think it's wonderful. And I think this is the time to, you know, be open to change. There might be some changes. The reason I picked Wednesday afternoon and Thursday mornings, I'm going to add a second class because we're already full, which is such a blessing, is because I know that no matter what show I'm doing, I'm available those times. So if we could do it on Zoom, it could keep going, you know?
Definitely.
That's what's up.
I think that's amazing. And to your point, you know, we have this ability to connect to people all over the world now. You know, we have the ability to create with people all over the world because everyone at the moment is going through the same exact experience as you. This, I think, is the only time in the history of my life, probably, or all of us, where every single person around the world is feeling the same restrictions. Obviously, some people who are the essential workers feeling something different, but we're all dealing with the fact that this coronavirus situation has completely blanketed the entire world.
Yeah, well, I had a few things that were about to jump off that were really exciting, that were scheduled for April 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And then March 15th, I went into the into quarantine. And so the only thing that keeps me from jumping off this ledge right now in front of you is that I know that the entire world is going through it. And that brings me peace. It's just like, look, we're all in this situation. So let's be gentle and kind to each other and do our best to show up for each other. And let's not count, let's not count our things. Let's just try to give and be of help and service to other people. And I know that everybody's going through it. And, I don't like when people use the excuse when times are normal. I don't like when people say, if it's meant to be, then it was meant to be. That audition wasn't meant to be. The reason I don't like that is because people sometimes use that as an excuse if they're unprepared. I think you only get to use that excuse if you're actually prepared, you did your best, then you go, okay, it wasn't in the stars. I feel that way about what's going on here. It's like, I know that I'm prepared. I know that I can't work any harder. I know that I, for the best of my ability, I've tried to be of service and be kind to others. And so with all that, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, because I know I'm putting in the work. I fall asleep way too late at night. I wake up too early in the morning. Look at these eyes. I look like
you look great.
I look like I got punched in the face. You see my point. The point is like, I'm taking this time to do everything I can. And so here we are.
I mean, you have to just keep working hard. It changes the monotony, and I think one thing that you do very well, which is why I personally was so drawn to working with you and being a part of, Theater 68, is that you are big on community and community building, especially amongst creatives. Everyone is special in their own way. No one's trying to compete with each other. I've noticed in the people that I've been able to call family now because of Theater 68, for people that are kind of lost and feel like they maybe have disengaged from their community because they're not seeing them every day, this has been a wonderful tool. And I would love you to speak upon how Theater 68 has kind of modified for this new normal.
Well, first thing, thank you for saying all those kind things.
Of course.
The Theater 68 is my heartbeat. It always has. There's always been a debate with other people in my life would say, some people say Theater 68, because of the energy and love and attention I've given to it on both coasts, has cost me some situations in my career. And some people think it's directly why I have a career. It's an interesting discussion, but for me, it's a complete no-brainer, and that is that community first. You can't, I can't, I don't like to tell anybody else what to do. I can't base my success or happiness on money. I am very rich, but not with money. I'm rich because of the people in my life. I'm a very rich man. I know that the people in my life, specifically very close to me, are genuinely want to be there, and vice versa. And the community is so essential for artists because we need people to hold us up to the light and nurture us. And that's why in my class, the thing is you'll never hear me beat anybody up emotionally or verbally, because I hate when teachers do that. I believe that if, you know, I'm honest and direct, and I'm Italian, so that could look a little stupid sometimes. But I really believe if you treat people with love and respect and hold them up to the light and celebrate what's great about them, you'll get the best out of them. Mm. And so that's my theory in teaching. And so I don't try to be right. I just try to like hold people up to the light. And in terms of community, it's essential for us to have each other and hold each other up to the light and help each other, because let's be honest, a very small percentage of people who are pursuing this get to actually pay their rent from it.
Exactly.
I don't call people an actor or an artist based on how much money they have in their accounts. People are an actor and an artist or a director or a writer because of where they spend the time that's valuable to them. You know, so Theater 68 has saved my life over and over again. And you know, when I got out to LA, I mean, how Theater 68 started was I was pretty lost. You know, I had done, what happened was I'd come off the national tour of Tony and Tina's wedding, making $800 a week to act, which I couldn't believe they were giving me money to act. I would have done it for free. $800 was a lot of dough just to act. So, but after I got out here, I got my SAG card. I tried. So what happened was I ended up booking this show called Deuces Wild, a movie. Scorsese produced it. Everybody was famous in it except for me. And it was a huge cast, big deal, big MGM film. I had one of the leads. And one day, about a week into the shoot, I looked in the mirror, and in my trailer, I looked in the mirror and I literally said, "What are you doing here? I thought I left you back east." Like, I realized at that point, I was unhappy. It wasn't about the job. That was never going to make me happy. What I needed was like-minded people who felt like me and thought like me and wanted to help each other. And so I realized that's when I started the company, because I realized that I got the thing that I thought I wanted and it didn't make me happy. So I was like, oh shit, now what? Now what, right? So I knew that I needed all that community and people. And sorry for the rant. I haven't thought about that in a while. It's really nice to revisit that.
No, I love that. I think, you know, people talk all the time about how things start. They think it's these big, giant things, but Theater 68 started at one period of time, and it's grown into this beautiful thing that is now even bigger. It's on two coasts now. You know, it's going back to even just you sending the letter to Joe Mantegna. I mean, like, it's about giving yourself the permission to say yes, you know, and permission to move forward. And, you know, a lot of people now are feeling so pressured to, I have to make all this stuff or my career's not going to happen. Now these people are doing things. And it's like, overnight successes take 10 years. People at least people don't think like that. If you just have to stay true to your course and like you said, being authentic, being genuine, as long as you do those things that really satiate your like core, that's when it'll open the doors for you for things to come in. You know,
No, you can't squeeze it too much or else it'll die. It dies. You have to like gently hold it. You can't squeeze it. You know, you have to like hold it. You know what I mean?
Totally. I totally know what you mean. You know, there are some people that force relationships. I know the biggest lesson I ever learned before I started my company, because I was working, because I was like, oh, I want to act, but I have to make money. And at the time I wasn't thinking, you know, where was I going to go? And I worked with this woman that took up all my time, and she was so rude about it. But one thing that I really learned from her, because of her rudeness, she would exhaust relationships. They would just be purely transactional for her. And that was something that didn't feed me correctly. And that's one thing I really missed, you know, in the acting community. A lot of people also like competition. You see all these things. It's like, no, relationships are everything. Everyone that I've met the last 10 years, I've been consistently working and creating and doing things with. And that's because of the fact that you see a need in someone that you also have.
Yeah.
And, you
No,
know,
I agree. I think we need to be kind and gentle to each other.
mm-hmm.
And let's be honest, most people are opportunistic, and that's not
Yeah.
necessarily a bad thing. How do you move forward if you're not?
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice to do. It's really ugly when you see that walking through the door.
Totally.
It's nice if you try to do it with grace and dignity. And a guy like me who's in a position that I'm in, running 2 companies, and I've been done okay for myself in my career, and I've been able to provide other opportunities for people.
Mm-hmm.
It's never really an even exchange. People are always helping me
Mm-hmm.
/ the company and other things. And so I try to spend a lot of time trying to figure out how I can exchange, because I know that I want to have an even exchange. I don't know if it's realistic, but I certainly try. And if you're close to me, you know that. And if you're not, if you don't, you're not paying attention.
Very true.
Sorry.
No, I completely agree. I mean, I think that you can be opportunistic, but you could share the wealth. Like I care about finding opportunities that make everybody happy,
Sure.
and creating opportunities that help, because there's nothing more exciting for me, and I've seen that with what you've done with the things that you've been doing, is that like I get to help raise my friends up that didn't get an opportunity. I'm like, just like you're lucky to be able to see your daughter often in this situation, I've been lucky to my friends letting me crash on our couch, because where I live in Brooklyn is a huge epicenter for this situation right now, and we've just been making every day. And that's just like, that's how we keep our things
Great.
going. We talk and we create, and we're moving forward. And I think finding the people that really make you happy in these moments, because, you know, I've been listening to our Lord and Savior Andrew Cuomo out in New York right now, and the biggest thing,
I have the biggest man crush on that
oh my
man.
God, right? But
Him and his brother, they're like Laurel and Hardy. I love
I
both
know
of them.
it's
I'm
hilarious.
obsessed.
But yeah, he was saying a point the other day that like in crisis, people's true colors come through.
Yeah.
And I think in this moment, specifically in the artistic community, I'm sure in all the communities, but like because that's so close to us, right? I've seen people just be like, let's just make something. Let's just get on Zoom, right? I wrote this thing. Let's read it. Let's, you know,
Yeah.
talk to each other. You know, I know that's why every Monday night is so important. And I think it's so important you have this class right now. So you said the class is on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
You know, listen, I want to keep the classes intimate so people really feel like we're doing good work. I'm so inspired to work and to help and to, you know, it's funny. I always felt like, you know, it's not until I look in the mirror and see my dad do I feel like I should be teaching somebody something. So, so I feel that way now. And so I think I have something to offer. And if you take my class, what's cool about it is, of course, we'll be doing all the things acting teachers do. But in addition to that, because I make my living also as a writer, also as a producer, also as a director, not just an actor, we will touch on many facets of show business and work on those things. So that's what's cool. If I really believe that actors and artists should not wait in line for the phone to ring. And so I'm not saying you should be good at everything, because some people just, you know, don't jive with things. But I certainly think you should explore everything and see, maybe you'll surprise yourself. And maybe there's things about you you didn't know, and maybe there's other avenues that might lead you to what's waiting for you. And so I'm going to do those things with my class.
I think that's beautiful. And I know that being someone who's been directed by you, I much appreciate working with you and being part of 68, and just what the fountain of knowledge that you have to offer. I think that this class is going to be amazing, and I'm happy you're able to do that, because I think, like I said, people are sitting at home and they don't know what to do. And now they have these great classes and communities to work with people they want to work with.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out of the woodwork. And, you know, the world feels very small right now. And it is, you know, it's like, it's very small. I wish I would have had invested in Zoom. I had no idea this was
Right? Didn't we all just
damn it.
Zoom?
But yeah, it's cool. And I'm very grateful that I'm in a position where people actually care what I think. You know what I mean?
Well, I care what you think. So
I
appreciate you coming on with me. And for those that don't know about Theater 68 and everything else, where can they find you and find more information about your class and Theater 68?
So theater68.com, or you go on the Facebook and the Insta and you just go Theater 68, it all shows up. My class, you write an email to Ronnie Marmo Workshop at theater68.com. I don't actually get those emails because that would be a nightmare. Theater68. So Ronnie Marmo workshop at theater68.com. And but I'm easy to find. You know, I mean, you know, I'm easy to find.
Ronnie
But come
Mo is
check
easy
it
to
out.
find.
Ronnie Mo, come check it out. You know, maybe it'll be something there for you. You know, and I'm going to do these classes in 4-week increments, but it's going to be ongoing. I can't wait. I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. I'm bursting. You know, I feel like I'm directing my first play again. You know, that
That's
kind of
amazing.
feeling. So yeah.
Well, I am so excited for you, and I appreciate you so much. And is before we end this, I want to know, is there anything else that you want to tell people that are watching during this time, or any good thoughts or things like that? Just, you go crazy. You have the floor. You can say whatever you want.
Yes, I do. I'd like to say that Jordan Gelber is an awesome role model in your own right, because you're a strong woman, and you probably take on one too many things from time to time, but that's because you're so passionate and so inspired, and you do what you say you're going to do, and you get it done. And it is really inspiring for women to have other women to look to for that kind of energy and enthusiasm. And I think you should just keep doing what you're doing because it's inspiring. So I'm proud of you. That's what I want to say.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. I would hug you if we could be together with the
Well, we're
mask on.
hugging.
We're hugging right now. I'm hugging my computer.
Yeah, give me a hug. Is this
Oh,
weird?
that's good. That's
I
good.
gave you a kiss too.
Oh,
I put one on the cheek. Yep.
I love it. I love it. People who are watching this are gonna feel loved by both of us, like a sandwich.
Yeah, no, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for everything, honestly, and taking the time to speak with me. And yeah, I'm gonna have all the information up about Ronnie and Theater 68 and the class all over the place. And thanks everyone again for watching, and I will see you guys later.